So there aren't really any requirements for green dragons, although I would say you should at least have 40 plus stats if you want to kill them, but I would recommend 70 plus range, 70 plus attack and strength to kill them with any speed to actually make this decent. Also, I would recommend to finish Desert Treasure, the Desert Treasure quest, as it unlocks some teleports that gets you to Wests and the center dragons faster. Um, I would also, if you're meleeing, I would recommend to finish the Taiyobo Wane trio quest. Um, it allows you to use a zammy hasta, and I would definitely recommend getting a zammy hasta if you're going to melee. So for Wests, this is what I would say is the best setup if you're maxed and you're using melee. Uh, the reason for this, there's no DFS or anti-dragon shield. You can use an anti-fire potion. That stops a lot of the fire damage. You still take some and can still get hit like 30s, but that is pretty rare. Seems like as at least if you're max. I'm not sure about lower levels, but I killed them with this setup and it worked just fine. Bring about um, 15 monkfish, and that lasted for 50 kills, and it was fine. So with this setup, you are risking a decent amount, not a ton. Um, with protect item on, you will risk barrels, gloves, D boots, and your supplies. So around 250k or so. Um, and Wests are below 20 wild, so you can pick up untradables. So you can bring a fire cape if you don't have an Arty Cloak 4. Yeah, this is this best setup I would say if you're maxed. This is the next setup I'd go with. A little bit worse, but still pretty good if you don't have money for other gear and you don't have an Arty Cloak 4 and stuff. This gear still also works quite well. You can also switch out a D Defender for an Anti-Dragon Shield or a DFS if you're getting hit too much with a D Defender. So this is the next best setup I would say. And then if you really want to welfare, this is the next best setup. You can switch, if you don't have money for a DFS, switch it for an Anti-Dragon Shield. They're like 2k. You're not risking really anything with this. You can also switch out Fire Cape for a Team Cape or an Arty Cloak 1 or 2. Like you can get those if pretty much anyone can get an Arty Cloak 1 or 2. So you can switch those out. This is pretty basic. You won't lose anything. It still has decent stats. So yeah, and then the range setup. As for the range setup, this is what I used. Proxy Helm can be switched out for God Coif. That is actually probably better, but I don't have one of those in my bank. This works pretty well. You don't need too much higher range bonus. You hit pretty often, and the Proxy Helm does provide prayer bonus, which is nice. Snakeskin boots, really cheap. Accumulator, with your protect item, you will keep your armadillo chest, chain skirt, your blowpipe, and your fury. The cannon does save over the blowpipe, so watch out for that. Only when it's in your inventory after you've set it up, it doesn't save over it anymore. And then a dueling ring for getting out. And if you are gonna welfare a little bit more, you can also switch out your barrel gloves for black d'hide vambraces. I don't have those in the bank, or rune gloves, and a power amulet. You should keep your blowpipe, but this is just 3 iteming. If you, it's a little bit safer. If you get smited, you don't lose anything. If you bring a fury, you can keep all 4 if you have prayer points. If you get smited though, you will lose your blowpipe, I'm pretty sure. Yep, so that is another option, power amulet instead of fury. it provides 6 range attack instead of 10 that the Fury gives, or you can also use a Glory which gives 10 also. Because Power Amulet is super welfare, Glory is kind of welfare, not as much though. But yeah, that is an alternative range setup. You want to get Armadillo though, or I guess I should be, you can also bring D'hide if you don't have money for Armadillo. Armadillo isn't that important, but it does raise your range bonus a little bit. So 137 without and 143 with. So yeah, it's not too important, but it does help. So if you're short on money, this is a decent setup also. And if you're not max melee, because if you're not max melee, blowpipe is better if you're 99 range. So yeah, this is a decent setup also. So this is the setup you want. If you have done the Wild Elite, you want to double most of the stuff, and if you're using melee, you want to bring super attack and strength instead. If you have done Wild Elite, bring 2 doses of supersets, 2 doses of stamina, 2 doses of, or 4 doses of prayer, or 2 doses of range if you're ranging, and 200 cannonballs. And so to get there, all you have to do is use the Dariak teleport. It's a level 78 ancient spell teleport. If you don't have this, you will probably have to walk there. That's the next fastest way. So it's best to get ancients and have 78 magic if you're going to do wests. You can also buy ancient teleport tablets. I think you do need to have done Desert Treasure to use them. I don't know if you need the magic level though. So you can try those. But I would recommend getting 78 magic and Ancient's done. Teleport up here. You just run over there. Then you come over here to the center. You want to be anti-fired if you're not, since you don't have a DFS or anti-dragon shield. And then you just put up your cannon right here in the middle. And you just start killing them. Put on Eagle Eye. And that's all. That's about it. Pick up the loot when it's there. And once your inventory is full, put the D'hide in your looting bag, and then once your looting bag and your inventory is full, then all you have to do is use your dueling ring to teleport to Clan Wars. And I forgot my dueling ring, but yeah, that's what you do. You don't have to pick up your cannon every time. You only have to pick up your cannon when it's about to decay, which is every 25 minutes. So yeah. So for West, I found that it is about 900k to 1 mil an hour, being maxed using all the stuff that I showed. If you aren't maxed, it's of course going to be a little bit slower, but the top end, which is the rate I'm going to use, is about 900k to 1 mil an hour. I tested both range and melee, and found that melee is they're about the same. Range, you can get a little bit more kills per hour, but you do use more money with the blowpipe. Scales cost quite a bit. As of this video, scales are about 200 each, so they're about the same, factoring in the extra cost from the blowpipe. 900k to 1 mil an hour. If you are about base 70 stats, you can still expect some good stuff if you're still using zammy, hasta, cannon, pretty much everything that I'm using, just 70 stats. You should still make around 500 to, let's say, around 600, maybe even 700k an hour. So it's still pretty good even with lower stats, but the top end of the money is about 900k to 1 mil an hour. Then the range setup for both Graveyard and East Dragons, since that's above 20 wild, it's pretty much the same thing as West's, since you don't really bring any untradables that are worth much. So this bring a God Coif for extra range. That's the best setup. Also, then you can use a Prosy Helm for prayer bonus instead if you want to. If you want to be a little more cheap and not risk very much, you can switch out to something like this, or also bring the armor. You don't risk it if you have the money for it. If you don't have the money for it, black D'hide. Pretty basic. And for the Graveyard and East Dragons, for melee, this is what I would say is the best setup. You can't bring Torso and Fire Cape because it is above 20 wild. You can, but you may lose it. So do that at your own risk. So this is what I would say is the best setup. There is a decent amount of risk, not a ton. You should protect with protect item. You'll keep your spear, chest, fury, and serpentine helm. Cannon does save over the helm, so make sure to get your cannon set down quick. When the cannon's set down on the ground, it won't protect over it. And if you don't have money for this, or you want to bring a little bit less risk, and you do have money for it, you can swap out the items that you're risking. So barrows gloves, rune gloves, D boots, climbing boots, and this way you still have almost max gear, but you're risking almost nothing. You're risking your prosy legs, climbing boots, and rune gloves. D defender, you will lose this, so you can also bring. This is where it may be more useful or more viable to bring a DFS or an anti-dragon shield instead of the defender, because this will disappear, which isn't fun getting dragon defenders back. So this may also be the best setup if there's very many PKers. And if you don't have money for Bandos and Fury and all this stuff, you're just starting out with money. The Zamorakian spear hasta is pretty. It's the best. It's by far the best weapon. So you want to get that. That's the most important thing. You can downgrade the other stuff. So, something like this, a Nezi helm instead of Prosy helm, and so this you're risking pretty much nothing. Switch the DFS for just an anti-dragon shield. You're risking nothing, and the gear doesn't really cost much to get. And just besides the Zamaraki and Hasta, if you don't have money for a Zammy Hasta, the next best option is probably a whip. I'm not too sure about that, but you definitely want to get this. This is the best weapon there. So pretty much the only difference between Graveyard and East Dragon's setup or inventory is Slayer Ring or a Glory, so that you can teleport past 20 wild, because they are above 20 wild. That saves you a few seconds from running down to teleport at 20 wild with a Dueling Ring. So use this to teleport to this, or a Glory to teleport to a safe spot, and then once you're in a safe spot, teleport to Clan Wars. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have Wild Elite done, then you want to bring 200 Cannonballs, 2 doses of your superset, 2 doses of stamina, and a 4-dose prayer potion with 99 prayer. If your prayer is if you have lower than 99 prayer, then you may want to bring 2 4-dose prayer potions maybe, if you're like 70 prayer or 52. And that's pretty much it. So to get to this one, also the teleport runes, 2 souls, 2 laws, and it is a level 84 ancient teleport spell. So you just, my prayer is low, so I'll just drink that, grab another one. And so to get there, all you have to do is hit that. You'll end up in a Graveyard of Shadows, I think it's called, and you just run up north. This is probably the closest teleport to a green dragon spot there is. It's really quick. You just run up here, go about right here, set up your cannon, and then start killing them. You want to drink your anti-fire potion. If you bring a DFS or an anti-dragon shield, you don't really need an anti-fire potion. It does save you some damage if you're not 99 defense. If you're 99 defense and you bring this, then you don't really need any food except for PKers. So if you're going to be bringing food, you don't really need this, because the damage you'll get from fire is pretty much the only damage that you're going to get. And so you just sit here and kill them, and once your inventory is full, your looting bag's full, you just teleport. You use your Slayer Ring or Glory, and you don't have to pick up your cannon. I'm just going to do that because I'm not doing a full trip, or I'm not coming back here, I mean. And so you just use your Slayer Ring or Glory and teleport out. And once you teleport out, then you teleport to Clan Wars. And you head over here and you bank and you repeat. I guess for anyone that is just absolute beginner that's watching this, I guess I'll just finish. I didn't actually show everything. After you bank, then you come over here to this portal. This portal actually heals your HP and prayer. So you come through here, and then you use your teleport, and you teleport back and repeats. And that is full cycle. Once you are out, or once your inventory is full, you teleport back here, bank, go through that portal, teleport back up there, and repeat that. And then onto the final spot, easts. Basically the same as the other two for the setup, except you want to bring a little bit more cannonballs. I'd say about 30% more. If you've done wild elites, basically double all your potions besides your anti-fire potion and your prayer potion. You actually want a full 4 dose, or maybe even 2 4 doses if you're lower prayer. And instead of using ancients, east might be better if you don't have ancients, because the teleport is with the games necklace. You just rub that, go to corporal beast, and make sure your protect item prayer is on before you exit, because there sometimes are teams out here. It is multi, so be careful of that. And then you just run east. This is the furthest teleport from the green dragon spawn, so it does take a little while. It is made up for that. The cannon does make up for that because of all the spawns. There are a lot, so the cannon can hit a lot, and you can actually get a little bit faster kills here than the other dragon spots. Just a little bit faster, but in this spot it actually is the best spot of all that I've found after testing. But wow, tons of bots. Earlier there was no bot. Yeah, so then you just come over here, you set up your cannon, and I'd say about right here, maybe around this general area in the center of all the spawns. So start up your cannon and attack. And once your inventory is full, your looting bag is full, everything is full, you just teleport out, head to Clan Wars, and just like I showed with the graveyard dragons, you just bank here. Once you've got a new inventory set up, head over to that free-for-all portal, enter that, and when you're inside of there, use your games necklace, teleport to Corporal Beast, and repeat. So for the graveyard or center dragons, I've found them to be about 900k to 1 mil an hour, just like West's. Pretty much the same. Once again, range and melee about the same. And this is the top end of the how much you make, just like West's. If you're lower stats than me, don't have the best stuff, whatever, you're going to make less. But even with like 70 stats, if you're using a zammy, hasta, cannon, pots, prayer, etc., you should still be making around 500 to 600, maybe even 700k an hour. And for easts, they are the best I've found. Just by a little bit, you will spend more in cannons or cannonballs, but you do kill a little bit more as long as there are no bots. And also, yeah, these rates are assuming that you have the place to yourself, or maybe one other person's there. If there's a bunch of bots, you're not going to make as much. I killed them in 361, which is a 2000 total world. There were no bots. This is where I got these rates from, so keep that in mind also. So east's the best. I got around 1 mil to 1.2 mil an hour there. So east's, the blowpipe was better between the blowpipe and melee, just slightly better. You do get a decent amount more kills, but it does cost more with the blowpipe. But at east, it does come out to be more efficient. So I would go with range at east, even if you're maxed. And yeah, 1 mil to 1.2 mil an hour.